All right. What if you could massively impact the results that you're getting in pretty much any area of your life by making subtle little shifts? And they'll compound over time. That's what we're talking about with this video on the 3% rule. Mike Mandel, talk to me about it.
It's a great topic. And a lot of this ties into Japanese industry. After World War II, Japan rebuilt massively. And in the 1990s, they were talking about Japan Incorporated. What they did that was so brilliant was they took on this concept of Kaizen, which means constant improvement, never-ending improvement. So if you look at it in the auto industry, North American car manufacturers were trying to find ways of making cars cheaper and cheaper.
Right.
The Japanese way was they said, how many extra things can we add?
Right.
So they looked at improving the product. So you get heated seats as well, all these other things.
Okay, improvements, but incremental.
How can we make this a bit better? How can we make this a bit better?
So not necessarily new features, not that we want to get into the weeds of auto industry here, but it wasn't just about adding features. It was about probably things like engineering improvements to make something more reliable.
No, that's exactly
having
right.
better quality.
Exactly right. In fact, Britain, their cycling teams, they applied this. They looked at making changes that were just 3% incremental changes, which are barely even discernible. But what happened was they were saying, oh, tires, the slight improvement on the tire. What's the best pressure to use? Slight improvement in the handling, slight improvement on what the person eats the day before, and putting it all together. Britain then dominated in cycling.
Because how many 3% improvements do you need to make before you have a massive increase at the overall level, right? So if the baseline is 1, let's say, you could start as a money analogy too. If you start with $1, if you make a 3% improvement or growth, you have $1.03. But if you do that again, you have 1.03 to the power of 2.
And it keeps going.
So it's not just $1.06, $1.09.
No.
It's exponential compounding.
Right.
And so I suppose you're right. Like if the athlete could eat just a little bit better and get a 3% better, let's say ATP production in his body, okay, then 3% less mass on the bike, 3% less air drag with the aerodynamic design or the clothing, 3% improvement in rolling resistance by using a higher pressure.
3% in tire treads.
All of these
You put them all together.
Yeah.
And it adds up immeasurably. In fact, Toyota really paved the way with this. Tony Robbins talked about it and called it CANI, C-A-N-I, meaning constant and never-ending improvement. Never resting on your laurels, saying, how can we make this, not how can we overhaul this.
I like that. Can
It's nice, isn't it?
Can I?
But it's not the making a massive shift, which of course is always good if you can do it, but it's saying, okay, we got this great thing now. We don't sit in our laurels. How can we make it a little bit better? I remember hearing that with Steve Jobs. As soon as they finished the iPhone, right away they're starting working on the next incarnation of it. So that's an important thing. And
Tesla does this too.
Do they?
Yeah, they don't wait for in the auto industry, they don't wait for a new model year. They're constantly introducing little engineering changes, better improvement, better flow, better technology, better part. They will redesign little things. And every week they just roll into production.
That's brilliant. I got a phrase or a sentence about all this that I found terrific. It said, most people underestimate what they can do in a day, and they overestimate what they can do in a year. And making these tiny little shifts. Now, 3% means almost imperceptible. Like I said, it's a digestible daily target. It's nothing that's going to stretch you too much. And James Clear wrote Atomic Habits. His thing was 1% improvement. Now, 3% is only a little more. Yeah. But it dramatically accelerates the
honestly,
results.
Who cares if it's 1% or 3%?
Yeah.
It'll obviously compound much faster at 3%, even though it seems like a small difference. It's a tripling versus 1%. But they're both going to make massive, massive improvements to things over time.
Exactly.
Marketers do this too, by the way, right? If you were looking to, let's say, increase the number of decks of cards that we sell to our brand new customers at Mike Mandel Hypnosis, we'd change the headline a little bit, see if the button color was better.
Right.
Maybe change the way the testimonial is packaged on the site. And if each one of these things yields only a 3% improvement, you only have to do that a few times before you're getting twice as many customers for the same ad spend or whatever. So this matters in every industry.
It matters in life in general. I mean, it just maps across. Yes, industry is great. And your personal life, the thing that I like, it said, why 3% hits the sweet spot? It said, because it's scalable and applicable to anything from fitness to relationships, building.
And it seems achievable too.
Of course,
it's
writing,
only 3%.
saving money. 3%. It's only 3%. That's the phrase. It's only 3%.
Yeah, remember power language, guys. So it's just 3%. Your brain treats it like it's a minimal effort. It's only 3%.
Whereas if you're told in your fitness you have to double the weight you're lifting, that just sounds insane.
So what if you want to achieve better fitness and you could just run that 5 kilometers 3% faster,
or walk an extra 5 minutes. You know, it's something like that. Yeah. And it's a small amount, but it feels doable. And say you made slightly better food choices every day. You don't even have to say, well, how will it be 3%? It means just a little bit different. A
small reduction in your processed junk food or something like that. And just 3% more time with your kids at night, or with your wife chilling, you know, after a long day of work, whatever the case may be, just a little bit,
and small hinges on big doors is the result.
Yeah,
isn't that a great
that's
phrase?
A great phrase.
So where do you start? Where do you want to start? Where do you want to start in your life? The key is keep it really simple, so it's never overwhelmed. It's always doable and feels insignificant. But when you look back over days, weeks, and months, incrementalism takes over as well here. But we're getting these massive shifts that are building on each other, which is something you pointed out with finances or whatever. And the key is here's the key. Don't push yourself. Just think in terms of a slight improvement and let it happen.
Yeah, I really like that. If you want to come back to that metaphor of, you know, racing team on a bike, and what are the various ways that you could improve the thing you're targeting. So if you're not looking to win the Tour de France, you're looking to whatever it is you decide, what are the angles like rolling resistance of the tires, aerodynamic drag on the bike, the mass of the bike.
More blood doping.
Yeah, there you go, blood doping. Like, what are those levers? Just think in terms of the little levers, and when you put them all together working in parallel, bam, you get that compounding result. So apply it to your life. Let us know in the comments how you plan to apply this. Actually, don't just hit stop on the video. Hit stop on the video. Think about how you're going to actually apply this to your life right now to get that benefit of incrementalism working exponentially in your favor, and let us know in the comments. That's what we'd love to see.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks again, and good night.